All right, so now, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving quickly towards panel number 2. And the discussion topic would be the AI uprising in HR, lead it or be led by it. So quickly, I would like to request my moderator and the panelists for this session, please brace yourself as we are just getting it ready. Let's call out the moderator for this session. That would be Rayees Wani, MD, India, Bitrix 24. Can we have a huge round of applause for him? We welcome you, sir. Now I'm starting to take the names for panelists of this session. Number 1 is Miss Monika Garg, the Associate Director from Global HR Operations, Fresenius Medical Care. Monika ma'am, welcome. Mr. Arvind Srivastava, President HR, Akums Drugs and Pharmaceuticals. Mr. Nishant Kalra, Group CHRO, JTEKT India Limited. Ms. Urvashi Gupta, VP HR, HSBC. Mr. Mohit Saxena, Head HR, Bajaj Energy. Mr. Sandeep Jain, AVP and Head Capability Building, Axis Max Life Insurance. Okay, I think there's a slight change from JTEKT. We have Neha Dutt. Neha ma'am, please come on stage. And now the last panelist, Mr. Vipin Rajput, Associate Director, HR, Tata 1MG. Now let's take a huge round of applause for each one of them. And without any further delays, without any further delay, I request the moderator to start with this panel discussion. The topic is the AI uprising in HR, lead it or led by it. Over to you, ma'am and sir.
Hello. Namaskar. Sat Sri Akal. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Myself, Rayees, manage India for Bitrix 24. I have come from Bangalore. I welcome all of you. I request backbenchers, please come forward. We want to learn with you and together. I want this to have 40 or 50 minutes of co-learning with each other. We are all students of life and corporate life. Events keep on coming and going, but if we put one effort of ours, anyway, you have come a long way. So please come forward, and at the end of the session, we are also going to have questions, and that'll be great because your participation is most important. So first, about the session. I just want to start opening the session with my esteemed panelists who have been introduced by Siddhi and team. A little bit about myself. I have come from Moscow. I'm born and raised in Kashmir, and I'm in India. I have worked in a couple of countries, and Bitrix 24 is around world with 21 million users. And today, I'll try my best, whatever I have learned in my life, and to ask the same questions to my esteemed panelists. And most important, we all talk about AI and digital transformation. What exactly is that besides the tech or the name of the tool? Actual life, how many of you understand Hindi? Could you please raise your hands? Almost all of us, right? Almost, right? Because I love to be native and English. So AI तो हम सब करते हैं ना. AI है क्या besides a tool? अपनी real life में एप्लीकेशन वाइज हम इसको कहाँ पे यूज करते हैं और कैसे एक यूज केस बनाते हैं? हम मैनेजर हो सकते हैं, डायरेक्टर हो सकते हैं, हम बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स में से हो सकते हैं, हम डेवलपर हो सकते हैं. तो एआई और डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन है क्या, इस पे हम बात करेंगे. क्योंकि हमारे जो panelists हैं, they have a huge experience in day-to-day life at their workplaces. So let's start from here. I'll have Sandeep from Axis Max Life Insurance. Sandeep ji will tell us. Sandeep ji, thank you for coming here, first of all. The question will be, where has AI created the biggest measurable impact in your HR organization over the last 12 months? तो आप इसको इंग्लिश में जैसे आपको सही लगे आप हमें प्लीज बताइए एंड लेट्स स्टार्ट फ्रॉम हियर.
Hello, am I audible? Back in? Because trust me, I was finding it difficult to hear him. He's being so close. I hope you're audible there.
Okay. Is it audible, guys?
Yeah, okay. So, thank you for the question. You're talking about what is the biggest impact in our organization over the last 12 months. Let me give you a small brief. So I have worked in HR capability building with this organization called Access Max Life Insurance, earlier Max Life Insurance. So pretty much most of our business is B2C. We distribute life insurance across our agency channels, which is by recruiting a typical agent. Remember the LIC days? That is one channel. You have a presence in Banca, all the banks. So Access used to be a distributor, now it is a parent, Axis Bank, and many other banks. And our direct sellers group, a lot of our customers are coming in from the digital medium. Okay, and I believe when I look at this audience here, a lot of this group will be mostly securing their financial future using the digital means. Having said that, a large percentage of the country is underinsured or uninsured. So the regulator's vision is to have insurance for all by 2047. In the last 5-6 years, we have really added more teeth to our workforce. The frontline sales have jumped up by, the percentage of people has jumped up by about 40%. Having said that, this is also a group, the frontline sales, which comprise about 85-90% of the organization. Highest attrition remains in this group, and this is a chronic issue. So there are two metrics. So I know it's a very industrial term, but two metrics. The early success. People leave. Why? Because they don't get early success. And I just met Rayees before this into a meeting room and he said, or maybe someone from IIM Kashipur, in fact, he asked me, it's a very tough product, right? It's tough, it's to be sold, it's not bought. So yes, it's a tough industry, and that's why people leave when they don't find success. Both our advisors who are distributors and our employees who are coming into sales. And most of our MBRs reviews would be talking about how do I improve this. So while AI has really helped us in areas of customer onboarding, policy underwriting, I'm going to pick up a use case of something which we started about 18 to 24 months back. So people join in, they go through their inductions. The inductions, when the company started, used to be something like 21 days. Now it was just about 5 days. Obviously, with your hiring numbers, you cannot be operating at that level of cost. So the inductions have to be faster. People have to be on the jobs faster. So how do we prepare them better? So the typical problem was when we go and listen to their pitches on their banks or meet them in their branches, we definitely found them low on confidence in terms of how to pitch, how to handle objections. And I think they were pretty okay in the knowledge areas. They know the knowledge. So we were testing it through the LMS quiz modules, etc. But I think before GenAI really took off, and I think it's still transforming, we introduced something called as a role play tool. Role play tool, it was based on AI. At the first phase, it was allowing people to pitch their products better and get feedback. So I'm giving, before Gemini and all really had these amazing features, we introduced this thing. So we could pitch a particular sales proposition based on a scenario, and I will get feedback. Second phase, what we did was made it 2 ways, where the AI will interact with you, basis the guardrails we will set for them. So you will get feedback, you will get objections. It's our job and the content team to make the role plays more difficult for people who have higher proficiency skills. I think the lady who was presenting before was talking about skills, and I think this is extremely important. It's important to hire people for skills, but really help people move up the proficiency level. So that's something which you got to capture. So using this tool on the AI role play tool, we were getting more confidence in terms of how this group is better prepared to handle a reality on the field. So the transformation happened when we really compared the cohorts between those who had actively participated, used this AI tool, getting better scores, versus those who were probably not really into it. There was significant gap in the productivity, in their case size. That means the amount the policy size they are able to pitch, they're able to close, the rate at which, how many case rate. So typically case size, case rate, these are the two vectors for these group. So we found them to be moving up, and that's really expanded to the entire workforce now. Now it's become a discipline that you have to do XYZ role plays before a product gets launched. A new product, a new variant gets launched, you have to do this, you have to get certified,
Great.
and only then you have the license to sell it.
Cool, Sandeep. So guys, if I could wrap it up, because I am also alumni of IIM Kozhikode. We were taught at IIM that people transform with technology, not the vice versa. तो जैसे इंटरनेट आया, पहले टाइपराइटर था, फिर Microsoft Offices and all that, now we have AI. So it's not like AI is there and we are going to jump. We are going to get transformed to the AI. As Sandeep rightly said, skills, end-to-end data collation and calibration in that ecosystem of that particular organization. जब आप ये दोनों चीजें लेते हो, आपका अपना एक प्रोफेशनल कैलिबर, प्रोफेशनल स्केल बढ़ जाता है. आपके पास डेटा आ जाता है, आपके पास टच पॉइंट एंड टू एंड आ जाता है, किस वाले डेटा पे काम करना है. तो दैट्स द एसेंस ऑफ एआई एंड डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन, नॉट just the AI. So if we could wrap it up, Sandeep's question here, the core and soul of that is data, skills efficacy given that data usage, and application on yourself for your organization. And that could be a great and huge impact of AI to be used at your organization. Thank you so much, Sandeep. Let's move to other question. This one is from Mohit from Bajaj Energy. And Mohit is here with us. So Mohit, my question is going to be, what's the one AI initiative that has not delivered the results you expected? And what did you learn from it? Could you please tell us something about it? Thanks.
So before I go to the answer, I'll just give a perspective. I come from a manufacturing, heavy engineering, project-based organization, and we are into thermal power generation, right? So we have people who are actually engineers who are running power plants, and there's a lot of technology, lot of science and complication when you run complex power plants, right? So when you speak of AI and what has failed, all of you would agree, let's set the context. AI is everywhere. Anything you talk about is AI enabled, AI built in. So knowingly, unknowingly, all of us are using AI in some bit or other forms, and it's not really evolved. It's even now evolving. So when you speak of AI, the scale and the size actually matters. So every organization can boast of saying, we have done AI, we brought AI, we've done this, we have done that. That's actually just being aware about the ABCs of the AI into your business interventions. Now, when you look at AI, every organization, typical HR functions, right from hire to retire, have started automating their processes into AI. If they don't do it, you're obsolete, you're irrelevant, let's do it. We're not AI enabled. All the vendors, all the companies which are actually operating today in HRMSs or any softwares will only speak to you about AI. But the problem here is, if you really look at, it's not just that you need to bring in AI, put it on a process, and just say I am an AI enabled, because the outcome may not be as per your requirements. So here today, I'll give you a typical example. When you look at employees, onboarding, hiring, recruitment, learning and development, all have become AI enabled. On one side, yes, they're doing good, they're reducing time, they're increasing productivity. On the other hand, I would say there are failed outcomes of this AI process. You speak L&D as one of the core in terms of skill development, capability development, and all that. AI has done the job very well. It'll create career paths for you, it'll create learning paths for you, give it to the employee. But look at the outcome. Is it really happening? If you look at statistics today, basis data from World Economic Forum, basis data from a report by Institute of Competitiveness released in June 2025. It says that out of the entire working population that you have, roughly 92% of the population is not skilled enough for employability in terms of skill and capability. So if I really see AI is doing a great job, but AI is actually also showing you a failure in terms of your adoption rate for employability where skills are really not meeting. You've created templates, you've created career paths, learning modules, saying this is what you need to do, and overnight you'll become an expert. That's really not happening. So here the whole problem is when you speak of AI, rather than looking at failures, if you really want to make it work, you have to look at that when I'm enabling a process with AI, is the outcome really creating an impact in terms of one, creating value in the process, creating an experience for the employee, and is it creating some value in the efficiency of the organization, the way it's working? So, what really happens is in this scenario, when I speak about failed initiatives, L&D is one thing which I feel is in organizations, although IT AI enabled, but it's not really a success today. You can create learning paths, you can create templates, you can create career paths. Adoption is important. So there are two things which I feel which the failures of this AI have given to us. One, you don't need to just automate any process because it's existing in the system. You need to look at the process that is it really worth automating it? Does it really create a value? And that is where I make AI a partner to it and then automate it, simplify it, standardize it. This helps me eliminate the failure. And second part of this, which is very important, more than the technology is the adoption. So you may create processes which can do well, but if the adoption is low, they are going to lead to failure. So the gap between the adoption and the technology implementation also becomes a very important point. So how do you bridge the gap between these two and then work on it will actually give you a path towards success.
Great.
Otherwise, every process you built in AI probably may look good in the initial stages, but will show a decline in terms of the acceptability or in terms of the returns
Great.
for the business
Great.
that it creates.
Thank you so much, Mohit. So if I could wrap it up again. So guys, it's like adoption, very beautiful word. Adoption. For example, B2B SaaS. We have CRM because I come from that field. Let me give good example that's most convenient for me. CRM. It could be from anywhere like Salesforce, HubSpot, Zoho, Bittrex 24, whatever. When you see deep dive, usage audit, even big organization after 5-10 years post deployment are not using to the fullest. And when you see that, you tell them, guys, what's wrong? Oh, we couldn't use it. We didn't feel that need. ये वाला फीचर भी था क्या? अच्छा ये तो प्रोक्योरमेंट गाइज ने लिया था, हमें क्या पता था? नीड था, मैनेजमेंट ने डिसाइड करा था. तो एडॉप्शन कभी हुआ ही नहीं. सीआरएम 10 साल से यूज कर रहे हैं. एआई के साथ भी वही हो रहा है. लाइक एग्जैक्टली एज मोहित सेड, इन्होंने कोई अपने एचआर टूल में यूज करा एआई, जब तक आप इम्पैक्ट नहीं देख रहे हो उसका, वो किसी काम का नहीं है. दैट्स व्हाई एडॉप्शन इज मस्ट एंड एआई इज जस्ट ए टूल. इट्स नॉट स्पाइडरमैन. Today you downloaded and started using ChatGPT or Claude or any other tool and you're done. With respect to your organization, your application of work, how you're going to use that. And I'll also request guys, when you keep listening to the esteemed panelists and my useless gyan, please make notes. At the end of the session, we are going to ask you questions and we would love to hear you. And based on our limited learnings, we'll try to answer that as well. Thank you. And the third question will now go to Monika Garg from Fresenius Medical Care. And Monika, my question to you is going to be, Organizations are investing in AI, as all of us know and talk about, but enterprise-wise adoption, now we are coming to one scale higher, adoption for enterprises, remains difficult, and all of us know all those pros and cons there. In your experience, what's the biggest barrier in enterprise people or enterprise organizations going for adoption of AI? Please.
Yeah, thank you for the question. It's a very valid question in today's era. And I will pick up from what Mohit just explained about adoption. So whenever we are implementing anything in any new technology in the organization, currently AI is a buzzword, and as well as everyone is going around implementing this, it's very important that we are connecting the dots with all the information, all the technology, all the skills that is available in the organization. So I'll maybe go from backward to forward. So when you're implementing a technology, that becomes your foundation, that becomes your core for implementing and taking forward to the organization. Then comes the governance, and governance is also very critical because you need the guardrails to, before you are implementing AI, you need to know do's and don'ts, how to use, how to not use it, what not to do in it. So guardrails are very, very important. Then comes the skills, wherein skills act as an engine. If you don't know, you don't have the skills to use that, something you implement, and that will, there will be no adoption, as Mohit explained. Without adoption, any technology, even if it is of highest, technology, will be useless for the organization. And then at the top, for me, comes the culture, leadership, and trust, that all three of it works hand in hand with each other. Because if you don't have a culture to drive any change in the organization, there will be no adoption to it. Employees will be sometimes fear to adapt it. Sometimes they may not like to go ahead with something that is very strange to them. They are not enough trained to use that. They are not even aware of. There are some questions, as he just mentioned, that they were not even aware of that it is for HR. They thought that it is for procurement. So there needs to be a proper communication as well. And that's why I said all these things works hand in hand, because you need to build that trust that whatever we are bringing into the organization is for the best of the organization as well as the employees. Once you have that trust, the employees will come forward, they will use that, they will utilize it, and you can utilize those skills for some other productive as well as strategic work. So sometimes these becomes the biggest barrier. And I will come to leadership as well, because it's very, very important that as a leader, if you decide to bring in the best of the technology in the organization, then that technology, how it is connecting to the KPIs of the organization, what exactly they want to bring out as an output of implementing a new technology is very, very important. And that needs to flow down from the top to the bottom, so that everyone in the organization, every part of the organization understands that what we need to contribute to make this a success. So I think that's these things are very critical. And at the end, leadership need to drive the culture, and that culture will bring in the trust. And obviously, training is the core of it. You have to conduct trainings to equip everyone to make use of it. One example, I'll share a very basic example. You buy a Ferrari and you bring it to your garage, and you don't know how to run it. Your roads are really bad. You can't take them out in the road, and even the driver don't want to get behind the wheels. What's the use of buying that Ferrari? So it's the simple example. It's very important that we connect the dots. We take care of all the, as an organization, all those aspects, and bring it together and build it as a core culture to drive that adoption. Without adoption,
Cool.
whatever you are investing goes waste. There's
Great.
no ROI, and there's no success.
Thank you so much, Monika.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You put it very beautifully, because we are talking about leadership, culture, skills, adoption, technology, trust, governance. And since the question was about enterprise, and you were right on the spot, governance. It's a core element here, guys. I had a capstone in my IIM that was about digital transformation for companies. And when we talked about enterprises, that was the first barrier, governance. So how many of you are from enterprises here? From companies, big companies? Okay, seems no one here. Okay, so okay, yeah. So we'll talk about it later. I just wanted to have who is here from enterprises and governance. As you know, the decision management units at governance board in the enterprises are always scared about disruption. ये वाला टूल लेंगे, इतने साल इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में जाएगा, क्यों जाएंगे, कितना डिसरप्ट होगा, बजट ऊपर नीचे होगा, क्यों करेंगे? और वो एक बंदा जो उस कंपनी में डिसरप्ट करना चाह रहा है फॉर द सेक ऑफ गुड ऑफ दैट कंपनी, वो ही कल्प्रिट बन जाता है अगर कल को कुछ ऊपर नीचे हो गया उस वाले टूल में. तो या गवर्नेंस वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट. एंड सिंस a lot of you could be from SMEs, as I could see only one is from enterprise. If the same question goes for SMEs, because that's not in our list of questions, so it's my duty to tell you, for SMEs, it's not governance, it's ROI. ये tool लेंगे तो क्यों? कितना पैसा? धंधा. Because SMEs, that's the survival. Just for extra information here. Now, moving to our question number 4. That's for Vipin Kumar Rajput from Tata 1MG. Vipin, thank you for coming here. My question to you is, if you could automate only one HR function tomorrow in your organization, which would or could create the greatest business value, what would that be, please?
Only one. Only one.
We are going to have another 1 + 1 for you.
Costing issues. Okay.
If you give a good answer, we'll shoot you another question.
Okay. You increase my budget. Yeah. So ideally automation should be used to every processes, and we are. वो time चला गया जब हम attendance बना देते हैं. So automation तो है, but yeah, now the time is to make our processes where is AI enabled, where we can use our processes, where we can, as much as we can, make our processes where are AI enabled. Yeah. Now, if you give me only one option to choose only one department, so I choose payroll and compliances. Why I'm choosing this function? Because one is risk mitigation, जो I really feel, because I'm leading the entire HR shared services, where is the payroll compliance is a part of that function. Risk in terms of payroll compliances and labor laws, where you done any single mistake, entire company will get non-compliant and you get any penalty, any kind of things. Secondly, scalability. If you have all the processes where the automation is used, if you have only 500 employees or somehow you can increase the headcount of 5,000, now your automated process are capable to run the payroll of 5,000 employees. If you're doing that the same thing on a manual way, so now you will ask your manager or your CEO, मेरे को headcount increase करना. Now you don't need to increase your headcount. Second is efficiency. Any live report you can generate in a correct manner. ऐसा नहीं सर गलती हो गई थी, attrition गलत calculate हो गया और present हो गया board में. You can get the exact report, you can get the live report, whether in terms of dashboard, any kind of things. So I choose this payroll and compliance and salary accuracy, where you cannot get any tolerance, zero tolerance.
Cool. Thank you so much, Vipin. So guys, यहाँ पे एक और लेसन आ रहा है जो मैं भी सीख रहा हूँ और मुझे I hope आप भी सीख रहे हो. तो यहाँ पे एक compliance और labor compliance भी आ जाता है. टेक तो अपनी जगह हो गया, टूल हो गया, आपका इंडियन टेक्नोलॉजी है, इम्पोर्टेड है, जो भी है. मैं अगेन एक प्रैक्टिकल एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ. Bitrix 24 हमारा वर्कस्पेस सॉफ्टवेयर. We don't have native integration of payroll management. Why? क्योंकि हम we are almost in 140 countries. तो हम natively integrate नहीं कर सकते. क्यों? Payroll management का local compliance आएगा, tax laws, labor laws. So technology अपनी जगह. जैसे यहाँ पे Keka is here. I could see Keka and the presentation was given. A great tool, great HR. I met the CEO when I came to India for the first time launching Bitrix. So यहाँ पे कोई भी tool, scaling of that tool, upgrading of that tool with respect to compliance is more important than upgrading the tech. So both could go in parallel. Neither is going to supersede another. So that's one good lesson when we talk about AI, but compliance is at the same time. Great. Thank you so much for this, Vipin. And I'll come to you again since you ask more. So my question number 5. Now, guys, we were talking about reality check of AI. We talked about adoption and change management. Now let's take this a flow of discussion to leadership and workforce transformation, and what AI or digital transformation plays the role there in that area. So my question will go to now Neha. Neha comes from JTEKT India, and Neha will tell us, with respect, my question to you, Neha, is, has AI changed what employees expect from HR, or it has changed what CEOs expect from HR? It's, by the way, very interesting question. Neha, over to you.
Thank you so much for asking this question. So if I talk about the reality, if we talk about the expectation, what you ask about, it's not a one-side expectation, right? We are, I think, maximum in the organization, we are dealing with Gen Zs. And the biggest challenge which we are facing with them is the patience. But on the other side, it's up to us how we would like to take it. It's a challenge or it's an opportunity for us to make ourselves drive with them. But to be honest, it's an opportunity for us to make ourselves drive with that speed. Because if I talk about the patience of the Gen Zs, they don't have that patience, and that is one of the opportunity which make us drive this this operations on a larger scale. If I talk about, they don't need policies. They don't want to go through 6-page policy or 8-page policy to understand what actually the crux is. They want the accuracy, they want the information, they want the flexibility, right? And on the other side, if I talk about the CEO, we'll not go for the CEO, it's at the top level, we'll go to the mid level where we're talking about the managers, where we talk about the department heads. What we expect from our team. Let's say if I want to get any report to be ready, I can't say, okay, I need this report by next week. Come on, it's big time now. We always say is like, okay, can I get it by today, end of day? EOD is basically coming very common in the mails. Please share the data end of day. So, but it's not a rocket science, like, okay, how the Excel will not serve the purpose. From Excel, you cannot expect that, okay, you will fetch the data of the entire organization in end of day and you're going to present it. Because in HR, when we talk about data sharing, in that accuracy always matters, right? A single mistake brings a big question on the integrity, all the accuracy, all the efficiency of the individual. So with that, if I talk from the employee perspective, yes, AI is very much important. Reason being, everybody wants their life to be easier. At the end of day, when I'll go to home, I don't have to take that burden on my head that, okay, my boss had asked me that report. I have to open my laptop and just have to prepare the report and be on there on my laptop till night because I have to share the report. It's just we need the quick and crisp responses. On the other side, this was one perspective of the employee side, our perspectives. Then now we talk about the CEO side. They want results. है ना बिजनेस कितना आ रहा है धंधा कितना आ रहा है प्रॉफिट कितना आ रहा है दैट्स ऑल अबाउट सो व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट दिस they want the ROI, and this is actually the need of the hour. So if we talk about HR, in the first session, one gentleman had talked about HR normally says about human resources, but not now. It's not about resources, it's all about relations.
True.
Right?
People's management, they call it,
Correct.
yeah.
Because on one side, your one job is being done by AI. We are having quite good AI tools to complete your Excel job. Now, presentation is no more a burden for us. We can use several tools, get a presentation ready within seconds, right? And it can give better results than what we are preparing it. But yes, validation is very much important that I talked about. It's all about the accuracy. But on the other side, now what's the HR job? I think everybody who is sitting over here, they must be having certain values in their organization where we talk about respect, openness, caring culture. It cannot be bring by itself, no. Normally ना जब HR का नाम सुनता है ना प्रोडक्शन वाला बंदा या डिजाइन वाला बंदा जैसे यार नहीं HR के पास नहीं जाएंगे HR is like a principal to the organization. We have to clear that fear from them. And that is now where the HR comes. We have to change our aura. We have to be more employee friendly. We have to understand their needs so that we can bring that value in the platform. It's right now what is there, it is on the papers, it is on the flexboards, but not on the platform. And that's the reason where the attrition begins. Because we hardly take care of the employee when he or she is working with the organization. We take care of that person when he is leaving the organization. Oh, why are you going? Oh, that was the reason. You must have told me earlier. Have you given that time to the individual earlier? No, because, and that's not a fault of HR. We are busy in our data work. We are busy in doing the analytics. Okay, kitna aaya, kitna gaya. Aaj kitna man par aaya, aaj kitna man par gaya. That is a problem.
True.
Right.
True.
So we have to change our drive, we have to change our mindset, and that is the expectation from the management side. And in the nutshell, if we talk, because if we talk about the AI, if we talk about the entire drive, it goes hand by hand, where I'm from the Japanese company, where they talk about 3M. 3M, Muda, Mura, and Muri. Nobody wants any sort of duplicity in the work. I hope you don't want that, right? So that is versus Muda. That AI actually helped us to avoid the Mudas from our work. Second is the Mura. That talks about fluctuations. That second M is Mura, that is fluctuation. Today I'm having a shortcut of data. I had prepared the report within let's say half an hour. My manager say, यार this बंदा is तो very good यार, half an hour में बंदे ने report दे दी. कल वही data जब मेरा exhaustive हो जाएगा, when I'll be working on that data for 3 months data, definitely if I'll be using Excel, I'll be taking more time, right? So at that time when I'll produce that report another 2 hours or 5 hours, I'll be a bad person for that my boss. क्या यार efficiency खत्म हो गई इसकी तो. It's all about the efficiency. So if you remove that 2M, that is Mura, it is very much important. And the last one is 3M, that is overburden, that nobody would like to work on that. So if we talk about the AI is a solution for 3M. And it's not from the perspective of individual, it's from the perspective of overall organization. And when I talk about the organization, it's all about the employee as well as for the employer.
Great, great.
Yeah.
It was great, Neha. It was great, really. You talked about Japanese, Muda Mura Murji. Guys, Sanskrit में एक word है, Madhavi. If I'm pronouncing it right, I heard it from IIM, Professor Chatterjee, who is director of IIM. That is अपने आप को अपने काम से और अपने काम को अपने आप से adopt करना. Not just sitting on data. Data gives us good insight about what? Past, yesterday, until yesterday, right? But that's not for tomorrow always. Tomorrow में आपका strategy, intuition, empathy भी आएगा. That's why that Madhavi is there. So I believe Japanese are great, as always we know. But अगर हम संस्कृत को भी follow करेंगे अपने corporate culture में, that's also cool, by the way. I got this point here. And one question before we move to another. How many of you are CEOs? Okay. Okay, great. 1. How many directors? Cool. 2. How many managers? Amazing. So we have very good lesson from Neha. People's management, culture. CEO is always for Danda, but as I understood from this question and even before this question, if we all love each other, starting from CEO, because fish always rots from the head, and हम अपने काम को एक adoption में लेते हैं, पहले personal adoption level, फिर कोई भी AI tool आए या digital transformation हो या ना हो, कोई ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला है. If our goals are clear, and if our not just ROI, why are we here for? So great, Neha. Thank you for good learning.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now we are moving to question number 6. And again, we are going to talk about leadership and workforce transformation given AI and digital transformation. So this one is for Urvashi. Urvashi Gupta is from HSBC. And Urvashi would try to encapsulate it in one single question. But it's a very beautiful question. I liked it when we were talking panelists with each other before the start of this event. So it's a little longer, but I know Urvashi is great at answering this. So, Urvashi, there is a saying that technology transforms business, but people transform with technology, as we started our event with. As organizations accelerate AI adoption, how can HR ensure the focus remains on empowering people and driving workforce impact, not just implementing technology? It's one part of question. Again, we are talking about adoption versus people's adoption or tech adoption. And as Gen AI reshapes hirings in HR, learning, engagement, and workforce decisions, what do you believe the HR function of 2030 will look like, and which human capabilities will matter the most? What do you, Urushi?
Thanks, Rayees. Am I audible? Yeah. All right. So, this is very close to the work that we've been doing in the bank. And I like to break this up into three parts. Really, just my quick take on the whole AI adoption and the future of work and the resulting future capability shifts that we're looking at. And then maybe just my 2 cents on how would the HR function of 2030 look like, really, right? So the work that we've been doing in the bank, has made me realize one thing that's absolutely clear to me, that AI cannot be predominantly treated as a technology standalone agenda. It has to be integrated with our future workforce strategy, with our future operating model. And as and when I would have been invested in working on doing workforce modeling, there would be 3 things that I would really keep into consideration, which would be the what, the where, and the how. So what would really mean, what would be the future of design, of the work? And would that really influence my role architecture or my job architecture in the organization? How would we be really on, how do we drive those critical skills and capability shifts to make that really happen? And then also apply a bit of, the lens of where we are looking at our location strategy. So all of this, when I look at it in my workforce modeling, again, I would never start with technology as my start point. I would go back to my drawing board and I would really start with looking at my company ambition, the company strategy, which is really anchored on the strategic priorities. And it could be, say, simplification, it could be AI, it could be your operational excellence, what have you. But once you have a view on your strategy, you really know what are you going to achieve, say, in 3 to 4 years from now, and what would the bank, of future look like for you, or your organization would look like for you. And, with that future state view is where you look to then build your future role architecture, where you then look at what are certain priority roles that would evolve in near future. And in fact, there could also be some roles that would sunset, which would really not be aligned to your strategy. It would not, maybe it gets impacted by the advent of AI. And then the third part to that would be to look at your entire priority skill matrix, and where, again, not to forget the skills that would be stable. So things like your change leadership, your stakeholder management, they remain. They're not going anywhere, but there would be certain skills that you may want to develop in your workforce group. And when you've looked at your strategy, when you've looked at your role architecture, you've looked at your skill taxonomy, I wouldn't really stop the buck there. I'd rather, add that layer of capability readiness and this whole gap assessment that I would like to do, and really would want to understand, say, for AI literacy, if that's my topmost critical priority skill that I need to invest in my workforce. Where do I stand today? So what's my current readiness level? And from there, what is my future proficiency that I'm targeting? And to that effect, do I see a material gap, between, say, if I'm sitting at a 2 and I need to move at a 3, then what are the drivers that are actually influencing those material gaps? And it could be a scale issue, it could be a deployment issue, it could be a proficiency issue, or for that matter, it could be a complete redesign and overhaul of work that you might want to do in your organization. So once you've really understood the gap drivers, is when you make your informed choices to then look at some of the workforce choices that you'd make. And that's where you're bringing the whole element of build, buy, borrow, and now there's a new term, bot. to it. So build is where you build your internal talent. You do a reskilling, upskilling, all of that with your internal talent. Buy is when you are reaching out to the external market, and borrow is also when there is a very exclusive, explicit capability that you're looking to develop in your organization. You borrow that from the market, and bot is where there's an entire redesign of future of work that you might want to implement. So once you make those informed choices on your workforce drivers is where I think HR really needs to play a part of becoming that key architect in shaping this entire AI human workforce, than just leaving it to say that, okay, now we have like a skill taxonomy and we have these top 10 skills identified, and I would rather have you translate that into workforce interventions. I would really not want that. I'd rather have HR sit at the table with the business leaders, with the chief of staff, with the core teams, bring them into the room, and then look at what are the changing needs, what are the gaps that needs to be identified, and then look at building those interventions.
Great.
So that's how I would want to put up people at the core of AI HR transformation, than just stopping the buck at saying that we have the skills identified and let's just go deploy XYZ interventions for people.
Perfect. Amazing. Thank you, Urvashi. So beautiful lines, what, where, and how. That's inversely proportional to build, borrow, buy abroad. I would really request if any of you is from SME, startups, or excited about AI, meet Urvashi. She could be a great evangelist here, aligning that architecture, giving you exact proportion of what, where, and how to connect that with build, borrow, buy abroad. Actually, she was talking about technology and how to fit those at those different stages. Of course, we'll talk after the event as well. We are limited with time, and we are really happy, all of the esteemed panelists, to answer your questions during the event and even after the event. So we are here. We are not going to run away. But time is limited, so I'm moving to my last two questions faster. Arvind is here with us, Arvind Srivastava from Akums Drugs and Pharmaceuticals. Arvind, my question to you is, how do organizations introduce AI while maintaining employee trust and preserving the human element? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So we are already running short of time, so time is up. But anyways, I think our co-panelist has already responded so many things in place. But for me, I think it is, AI has never been a tech challenge. It's always leadership challenge. So as co-panelist has already shared this, that I think we need to have that leadership capability in place when you are talking about AI implementation. And somehow it also depends the culture and the what kind of trust we have as an organization with our employees. And the last one is what I feel that workers or workforce readiness for any kind of AI intervention in the in the organization. So what I feel quickly, I will sum up what our co-panelists have shared, that I think we need to be a little bit transparent with the people. That, I mean, transparency is something what we are doing, and effective communication should be in place. It should be a continuous communication with the employees at all level, at shop floor level also, that this is what we are running with and this is what we are going to implement. Second, that we should focus on why part. We usually tell people that you need to do what you need to do and how you need to do. But we always miss that part, that why we are doing all these things. As Urvashi has told, I mean, see, there is a purpose. We have talked about Modi Muri, and somehow there is always AI implementation is to either it is saving cost or increasing efficiency. I think we need to communicate this to each and every employee, that why we are going to implement this. When you will be able to communicate the purpose of each and everything, I think it will be easier for them to carry it forward. Second, I think there should be some upskilling of workforce, because at the same time they would need it, that I think they would be ready, that if there is something which is going to be implemented in the organization is also thinking about us to get us trained for using all those tech tools and technology which are coming in. And the most important part that I think we need to ensure that psychological safety, which is there. I mean, when we always talk that AI is replacing human. So I think we need to communicate this also to employees that AI is there to increase their potential, not to replace them. So somehow you will be able to communicate this. I think that work is done when we're talking about. Last but not the least, at the end of the day, I think we have to invest on people also. At the same time, we are investing on technology, because if there is no human touch, if you're not able to build up that trust and capability, leadership capabilities, I think it will always be difficult to implement AI.
Great.
Thank you.
Great, Arvind. Thank you so much. Ma'am, just give us 5 minutes more because we started
Actually,
5 minutes later.
sir, I'm extremely sorry. We would like to tell you that after your panel discussion, we were about to have only one presentation, but there has been a new add-up. We are having two presentations.
That's fine. We are going to wrap it up in 3 minutes. We started 5 minutes late. We are giving you 2 minutes for free. You see the ROI. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So we are closing it up, guys. After the event, Vipin and Mohit can talk more on productivity, time to hire, cost per hire, and about delivering sufficient business value. Please catch up with them because these two questions we couldn't complete. And if we have any question from you, please. Yeah. And if we are short of time after 1 or 2 questions, we promise you we are going to be there at the back bench with all my panelists, and we are going to talk there as well or outside if we don't bother the coming up panelists. Yeah, 1 question, please.
All right, great discussions. I think for all the HR team members, it's clear that AI is needed, right? So now...
it's question to whom and what's your name?
My name is Pradeep, and it's question to anybody, yeah?
Okay.
So it's about after 2 to 3 years, the whole organization may have a totally different look because the way AI is changing. So how do you draw a roadmap that if 100 people were there and 10 were doing this, 10 were doing this, etc., it may change. It may only be 50 are needed, and these are the skills they are supposed to have. So how do you draw that roadmap and how you take the organization forward, including change management?
Cool. It's a very good question. Guys, any of you would like to answer this? But only one has to answer.
As Urvashi has told that along with that technology in place, I think you should have people strategy in place. And you need to get these resources. And that's why you should also invest on human potential, training, and and especially training of leadership team. If they are not trained properly, that what is all about this AI and what kind of a skill we need to, because tools and technology are getting changed in every 3 months. So I think you need to predict, you need to have a very good human strategy in place, and then you will be able to cope up with this kind of issues.
Okay.
Maybe I can add quickly to it because he has already covered most of it. You cannot predict sitting today how it will be after a few years, trust me. So what you need to focus on, your people at the core is very, very important. What kind of skills and what kind of people you're hiring is very important. Like we are talking about adoption, but adaptability is the core skill which is very much needed in current VUCA world, wherein everything is changing every minute, every day you come out with some new technology coming up. I think you need to hire those resources who are very adaptable to these changes. The change management is at the core, and they are helping you out to drive through and navigate through these changes quickly. I think that's very important. So focusing your, focus from the technology, obviously that will keep on evolving. We also need to focus on what kind of skills we are hiring. So that's very important.
Great. Thank you so much, Monika. So Pradeep, it's data, it's scaling of data, adoption, and empathy. If I put it in 4 words. For next 5 to 10 years. We'll talk about it in details later after the event. Okay? Thank you.
Now, without any time, without any kind of wastage of time, let's call Swati ma'am. Swati Singh, the co-founder of Reset Well Plus. So let's start the felicitation ceremony for this set of panelists. We will be starting with Ms. Monika Garg, Associate Director from Global HR Operations, Fresenius Medical Care. Yeah. Huge round of applause for all of them. Mr. Arvind Srivastava, the President HR, Akums Drugs and Pharmaceuticals. Ms. Neha Dutt, EGM, JTEKT. Ms. Urvashi Gupta, VP HR, HSBC. Mr. Mohit Saxena, Head HR, Bajaj Energy. Mr. Sandeep Jain, AVP and Head Capability Building, Axis Max Life Insurance. Mr. Vipin Rajput, Associate Director, HR, Tata 1MG. And last but not the least, the moderator for this panel session, Mr. Rayees Ahmed Wani, MD, India, Bitrix 24. Thank you so much for this wonderful session. A group picture before you people disperse.